to see the slides and all, we'll proceed. So, so good evening, everyone, for today's webinar on how to control diabetes the easy way. Why I'm saying it the easy way is because people, just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry for that. My kid is making a lot of noise, so I thought I'll just tell them. So yeah. So why I'm saying an easy way is because we always struggle about controlling our diabetes. Most of the time we think very complexly, and we think in a very typical way, like we starve ourselves from our favorite foods, we stop eating rice, we do a lot of exercise, and we keep on thinking about diabetes all the time. So that's not the way. I also keep everything in control. I keep my blood sugar levels under control, and how I do that is by following some simple things. Not, no need to change everything the way, because your family is eating something else and you don't need to eat a lot of different food, or you don't need to struggle regarding this thing. So let us see in this webinar how are we going to how you can control your diabetes the easy way. So what are we going to cover in this webinar? Essential diabetes recipes. There are some few essential diabetes recipes, and these are most of the people who are very old to me. Means they know me from long time. They're following healthy diet for diabetics for a long time. They know these recipes, and for new people, this might be new, and some recipes might be new to the old people also. And some diabetes food myths. What are the myths we have? A lot of people are having a lot of myths that these foods are good, these foods are bad, and all. Most of them are myths. They're not true actually. So how mindset can impact your blood sugar levels? That is one important thing we'll cover. And one thing, only one thing, which can have a huge impact on your diabetes. This one thing helped me a lot with my diabetes control. So I will share it. This will be the last thing I'll be sharing in the webinar. So first 40 minutes before we start, these are the few things I want to share. First 40 minutes, you participate in the listen only mode, so you will not be able to speak anything. You will be just listening to me. And any questions you have, you can type in the chat box, and I'll get back to the questions after the end of my session. And all the questions you have can chat, and we can also talk to each other. I will give you the voice, so you can speak, and we all can listen to you. So all questions will be answered at the end of the webinar. So before we start, share with me what is helping you control your diabetes. I'm sharing a poll with you. Right now, are you able to see the poll? You can type in your answer. Just you can type in the answer if you're able to see the poll. Yeah. Just good. The answer out of 21 people. That's great. Okay, 11 people have answered the question. 15 people have answered the question. Sorry, 15 people have answered the question. I'm sorry. 16 people have answered the question. Yeah. And okay, 18 people have answered it. Anyone more wants to answer this question? You can see the results. Everyone can see the results here. 18 people. Yeah. 18 people. That's great. Okay. I'll end the voting and we'll see the answers. Anyone more is answering? Okay, I'm ending the voting and I'm sharing the results. So answers I will receive it and I'll share with you in the email. There are different things you different people do. So I'll share everything with you in the email. So the mindset, new mindset will be new results. If you have the old mindset, you will not be able to achieve new results or results which are different from what you are achieving right now. So mindset both important here. You should have a new mindset because the belief we have a belief system which is always stopping us. Like this is not possible, that is not possible, etc. and all. So we need to have a proper belief system and the mindset you need to have a proper mindset to achieve control of blood sugar levels. So let us see what are those important things. Don't limit yourself because you think my diabetes is hereditary. My father has diabetes, so I will also get diabetes, and I can't control it and I can't reverse it because my father has it. So definitely it's difficult for me to. My father has took medications. My father was on insulin, so for me also the same thing is going to happen. So it's not like that. You need to think about diabetes is not just hereditary because of you don't inherit the genes only genes from your parents. You also inherit their habits, their lifestyle, everything you are inheriting from them. So you need to understand that this is very important that you inherit the lifestyle. So if you change your lifestyle, a lot of things can change. Then one some people think my body is just like this, it doesn't respond, it is very stubborn and it's not flexible and I'm not healthy, etc. So change this thought and love your body, start accepting it the way it is, and do things like exercise, start doing something so that you will see some change. And I cannot control my stress. People think that stress is part of life because stress is not a part of life, challenges are a part of life. We even every day we face different type of challenges and problems in our life. So it's upon us to see how to overcome those problems. We need to increase our capabilities to overcome the problems. It's not the problems is not equal to stress. It's about how you respond to them, how you react to them. We'll only give the meaning to that, and the stress, your stress levels will be depending on that. And anxiety to do a lot of stuff, anxiety to do a lot of work, etc. You need to cut down on that. So you need to be less anxious because you need to calm down and you need to focus on few things and go ahead in life because everyone has a problem. Everyone has their own share of problems in their life. No one's life is very easy and very simple. Then one more concept most of the people have is my diabetes can never be reversed. Why? Because they think that yeah, sometimes they fail because of stress or because of some issues, and they think my diabetes can never be reversed. So what to do? Though everyone says this will work, this that will work, but it doesn't work for me. So this first thing is you need to change your mindset that the reversing diabetes is possible, and if I take some steps to do it, it's in my hands, it's in my control. It's in means you are the controller, you are the author of your own health. You should believe in the fact that you are the author of your own health. Then coming to the next slide. So there are few recipes which are very helpful for diabetics to control the blood sugar levels. The few recipes are these are the essential diabetes recipes, and I also take most of them. I take in a different way. So you can see the different recipes are trifala fiber juice and CCFT and honey and beetle juice, liver detox drink, cabbage juice, and apple cider vinegar. So these are the different essential diabetes recipes. I'll just show you exactly what is the recipe and how you are going to take it. Trifla fiber juice, this is very effective for weight loss and diabetes control. If you're a person who is thinking about weight loss, means if you're overweight and your diabetes is not in control, let us say your diabetes is in control also and you're overweight and if you want to get weight loss, this one thing will help a lot. So this is how I take this regularly. Only thing what you need is Triphala churna 1 teaspoon and 1 teaspoon psyllium husk. This is also called Isab Gol, which is available in medical shops, Ayurvedic shops and all. I am typing the Isab Gol. I'm typing it in the chat box. What Isab Gol? And 1 teaspoon ground flax seeds. Once you take the flax seed, fry them for 5 minutes or something like that. Then just let them cool down. Take them into a mixer and just then flax. You'll get a flaxseed powder. So you keep the flaxseed powder in one specific container jar. And what you do is before sleeping in the night, the last thing you should do is this one. Take a glass, add 1 teaspoon of trifla churna, then 1 teaspoon of psyllium husk, then add 1 teaspoon of this flaxseed powder, and just drink. And this helps the bowel movement a lot. So your toxins from your body will be out, and weight loss. It aids in weight loss because flaxseed is also a good cholesterol. It also helps with the cholesterol. This thing, and psyllium husk is a fiber, and trifachurna is very good for diabetes control. So you need to take this. I will be sharing this uh, PDF with you in the email. So you need to worry about the recipes. I think everyone is having an issue with audio and video. Yeah, Vimalji, I'll share the PPT. Uh, Chivaramanji, are you checking your audio once? Can you close because sorry fans for interrupting, because most of the people are typing. Some people are having issues with audios and video. If anyone is having an issue with audio or video, just close the browser and close the window and again log in back from the join webinar link email. Sometimes it will solve the problem easily. Or else there might be some issue with the bandwidth, because sometimes it happens, though we have very good internet connection, have issues. Sometimes you switch on and switch off and switch on the router. That also can help. Can all of you try doing what I'm saying? I'm recording this session and I will definitely share the recording. That's okay. You people can't be able to record the session. You people can only view. I'm recording the session and I'll share the session with all of you. So I'm switching off the video so that bandwidth issue might be, we can overcome a bandwidth issue. So I'll be proceeding with audio and slides for some time and see. So let's proceed with this. If someone is having an issue with this, we'll fix it later, because we can't stop the webinar at this point. And one more recipe is cabbage juice. This is very helpful when you have parasites in your intestines. Most of us have parasites which are actually stealing away the nutrition which should reach our body. What happens is we all have that problem because we eat junk food and all. We actually develop a lot of bad bacteria inside us. So cabbage juice is very good and very helpful for that. And it's also called digestive juice because it will kickstart your digestive system very effectively. But drinking cabbage juice will be tough. So here we are using apples in a mix of this. So what you need is one large green or purple cabbage. Purple is good, more good because of antioxidant it has, and 1 to 2 lemons peeled, depending on how bitter you like your juices, and 2 apples of your choice, and 2 inch ginger. That's what. So what you need to do, you just take all this stuff and run the above ingredients through a juicer. So your cabbage juice recipe is ready, and you can drink it early in the morning or after the breakfast. Anyway, it's fine, and this is very healthy. And for people who have bloating issues, the bloating, lot of bloating, gas formation, etc. So those people should take this cabbage juice recipe. I'll share the recipe with you. Actually, I switched off the video to ensure that we are getting bandwidth. And one more recipe, which is my favorite, is CCFT recipe. And most of you people might be knowing this recipe. Some of you might be knowing this recipe. Some of you might be using this recipe. Is like you need to boil. You need to take 500 ml to 70 ml of water in a vessel, and as the water is boiling, you need to add the following to the pot: half teaspoon cumin seeds, half teaspoon coriander seeds, and half teaspoon fennel seeds. Cumin means jeera, coriander means dhania, dhania ka beej, and fennel means soft. You can also add ginger or fenugreek. Fenugreek means it is again methi. If you have excess gas or bloating, you can add this stuff. So let the water boil for 5 to 10 minutes with the seeds, depending on how strong you want the tea to be. And afterwards, strain the seeds out of the tea and then pour. And you can pour it into the flask. And you can store it in the flask and keep on sipping it. Just sip 100 ml of it. One time 100 ml. So in a day you can take it 4 times. This will help very well with the digestive system, and it will kickstart everything. Like many diabetics who have followed this have reported me that it is helping them a lot. So this recipe is one thing which is my favorite. And one more recipe is liver detox drink, because most of the diabetics are having issue with um, liver metabolism. We need to detox our liver. Liver is jammed with fats, unnecessary fats, and sometimes stone formation also. It also leads to stone formation in gallbladder. So it's very much important to you need to have this liver detox drink. So what liver detox drink is very simple. You need to take a glass and add 10 ml of extra virgin olive oil. You need to use only extra virgin olive oil. Virgin olive oil will not work. You need to take only extra virgin olive oil. Any good brand you take, it's okay. So 10 ml of extra virgin olive oil you need to put in a glass. Squeeze half a lemon, then fill the glass with water. Stir it for 30 or 15 seconds, and drink it in an empty stomach. This will be very helpful. If you're not able to drink liver detox drink, I would suggest at least drink lemon with honey, because C vitamin is very important for people. C vitamin is very important for diabetics, because C vitamin is a water soluble vitamin, and we diabetics have a problem of going to urine for more times, so we lose a lot of water. So along with the loss of water, we also lose C vitamin. So you need to ensure that you have enough C vitamin in your diet. So taking lemon juice is one best and easy way. If you take organic honey, the good quality honey, that's okay. You can add 1 spoon and happily take that. Then next thing is, take 1 betel leaf in small mixie grinding jar. This is digestive juice. This is very good for vitamin B12. Many of us have vitamin B12 deficiency. If you have vitamin B12 deficiency, you cannot reduce weight, and you always have problem with digestion, and you have gas, acidic issues, and all. So this juice is very helpful. What you need to do, pan ka patta. Betel leaf means simply pan ka patta. So take 1 betel leaf in a small mixie grinding jar. You need to break the betel leaf into small pieces and put it in the jar. Then add 2 teaspoons of honey and add 4 teaspoons of water. Grind it and drink it when your stomach is empty. So this will be very helpful. I took it sometimes. I take it occasionally. So this is very helpful for, especially if you have vitamin B12 deficiency. This is quite common in women basically. So this is very helpful, and this is helpful for pregnant ladies and other women. Means especially women, it's very helpful more than men. Then the simple drink is apple cider vinegar. I will tell you this why apple cider vinegar is very simple and very effective for controlling blood sugar levels. I used to take it, and it's very helpful for me. Take a glass and add 10 ml of apple cider vinegar. Then add water and drink this 30 minutes before meals, just afternoon and in the night you drink it, and this is very helpful for you. This will actually ensure that your postprandial blood sugar level is in control, and this also helps with reducing the fasting blood sugar levels. So now, coming to the myths, we have a lot of myths regarding diabetes. This thing. So here is a small poll. Can you answer this for me? So the question is, how many of this diabetes food myths, how many of these statements are true? Are you able to see the poll? I guess you're able to see. Okay. Are you able to see the screen? Yeah, a few people have answered this question. It was tough to see the screen or what, I'm doubting. Okay. 3, 2, 5, 4, 9. Oh, 10, 11 people have answered already. Oh, good that I'm seeing option 1 is going up, and some people are even saying all are true. So till now, how many answered? 12 people out of 26 answered. More people who want to answer this. We'll give 1 more minute for this. Okay, 15 people have answered. Okay, I think we can stop the poll now. Okay, 17 people have answered. Okay. Anyone else want to answer this? Please answer this first. 18 people have answered. That's great. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? There's nothing to worry like it's wrong or right or whatever it is. You can participation is important. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm sharing the results with you. You're able to see the results now. It's all like split. 27% people. 7 people think that it's six are true and 3 are false in this, and 4 people think it's 3 are false and 6 are true, and six people think 2 are just true and 1 are false, and 3 people think all are true. So let us get back and see what is what. So fruits are very good for diabetics. This is myth or true? Most of the there is a lot of debate on this, but people who are already following our website from some time, they already know that fruits are really good for diabetics, and eating fruits is not bad at all. So you should not do binge eating. Means if your blood sugar levels are not in control, if you take insulin or like that, then you need to be very cautious about how much fruit intake you have. Otherwise, if you are normal basic diabetic with HbA1c which is around 6% or 7%, then you don't need to worry about taking fruits. Let us say this is a mango season, and you all know about the story of Mr. Anand, who has actually reversed his diabetes, and he has great mangoes. He reversed anything out of mangoes, and mangoes are good. So which is coming in season should be eaten. Try to eat fruits that are locally grown and which are in that season, not like the fruits which are not like fruits which are. I'm switching off the video for bandwidth issues. Fruits which are not available in your area. Don't try to eat imported fruits. So if you're eating an apple, try to eat a Shimla apple or a Indian apple, not the American Gala, Washington apples. There are different types of apples. So don't eat those fruits. So fruits are generally good. You can even eat banana. You can even eat pomegranate. Pomegranate is the one of the best fruits I can recommend. Pomegranate and Goa, Amrut are very good fruits. So fruits are very good for diabetics is true. It's not a myth. Then Pani Puri is better than Mary Biscuit. Yes, Pani Puri is really better than Mary Biscuit. You think that how it is possible? Because Mary Biscuit is full of maida and it has been prepared 6 months ago. It doesn't have any nutrition, any value. Moreover, the Mary Biscuit you are eating because it's not because it's tasty, because it's you think it can keep your blood sugars under control or you will not have any issues. But Pani Puri, when you eat Pani Puri, all the happy hormones are released. You're happy about eating pani puri. Eating pani puri is not just about pani puri. It's about the person with which you're eating the pani puri. You enjoy the company and you love to eat on the roadside. So once in a while it's okay, but I'm not saying that you will be eating pani puri every day. That's not allowed. But pani puri is really better than Mary Biscuit. I advocate on eating samosa versus pizza, and pani puri versus Mary Biscuit, and samosa versus burger. So all the foods, our Indian foods, chaat and all, they're far healthier because they're freshly made at the time and they're just freshly served, not like other commercial stuff. These are all commercial stuff, and you should try to avoid whatever foods which are coming in packets. You try to avoid that. So Panipuri is better than Mary Biscuit. Yes, it is true. It's not a myth. Then almonds and walnuts are better than protein powders. That's true. Almonds slash walnuts are better than protein powders because protein powders are not really having any good protein value. It's a very big industry. This protein shakes and protein powder industry is very big industry. They're making a lot of money by selling protein powders to diabetics. But understand one thing, that diabetics already have a compromised digestive system. Means the digestive system of a diabetic is very much compromised, and you should not overload it by eating more and more protein. You should try to reduce that protein intake. So for instead of that, take almonds, walnuts, peanuts, etc., and try to eat them after soaking them. Directly eating nuts can be not very good for diabetics because it's again taxing on the digestive system. See, I'm talking a lot about digestive system because diabetes and digestive system are very much related, and diabetes is called endocrine disorder. So endocrine means it's all about digestive organs and all. So almonds or walnuts are better than protein powders is true. It's not a myth. Then better to eat a ice cream instead of sugar-free products. This one thing this might be debatable, but I will vouch for it, and I will tell that better to eat a ice cream instead of sugar-free. Don't eat sugar-free products. They're very bad for your health and bad for diabetics. Most of the diabetics are habituated to eat sugar-free products. All these type of products are not helping you with your diabetes. They're just giving you some instant pleasure. I will tell you, instead of adding a sugar free, add 1 spoon of sugar. That's more better because you really have the feeling that you eat the original sugar. Here you eat this sugar free and you again have the craving. अरे ये sugar तो खाया but वो sugar नहीं मिला मेरे को, like that you have the craving. So it's always good to have real sugar instead of sugar free products. So this also is true. Then sugarcane juice is healthy for diabetics. Yeah, most of the people have a doubt and confusion that sugarcane juice good or healthy for diabetics. Sugarcane juice is really good for diabetics, but sugarcane juice help with fighting inflammation, and inflammation is the core and the main problem with diabetics. We all diabetics have problem with inflammation. Our body is having a lot of inflammation. Sugarcane helps with fighting inflammation, and it actually nourishes your body very much, and it also helps with the teeth health. Sugarcane juice has the capacity of curing cavities, healing cavities. If you drink sugarcane juice regularly, you will not have cavities, teeth cavities. And with diabetes, most of the diabetes have problems, the dental problems. They have dental problems. So you need to take sugarcane juice occasionally. At least try to take sugarcane juice weekly, twice or thrice. This is summer. I don't know, with the corona and all, we may not be having the advantage here. but after some time you can take that. Eating small portions is not the best way. Yes, eating small portions, actually doctors and many people advise you to eat small portions. Small portions is to control diabetes. Yes, small portions can help you control, but if you plan to reverse your diabetes, eating small portions is not the best way, because whenever you eat, more insulin is triggered. So if more insulin is triggered, what happens is that insulin stays in your body, and that will lead to more insulin resistance. And most of the people don't know the, weight gain. Weight gain is due to more high levels of insulin in your body. So always ensure that you're not provocating your pancreas regularly to produce insulin. So eating small portions is not the best way if you want to reverse diabetes. But if you are a severe diabetic and you have to take insulin or high level of dosage, then for you eating small portions may be the right thing to do. Then milk is good for diabetes. Diabetics, it is wrong. This is not actually true. Milk is not good for diabetics, and nowadays whatever milk we are getting is not at all good quality. So occasionally you can take milk tea, but I will suggest you to avoid milk, because I avoided milk. After avoiding milk, I am very happy. I am feeling light, and we also get rid of all these problems with the flame formation and all. So milk is not good for diabetics, and most of the most of the doctors and nutritionists are advising not to give off milk and milk products. Like Dr. Basu Roy Chaudhary advises this from Delhi, and Dr. Pramod Tripathi, who is running a program of Freedom from Diabetes from Pune, also has advocates on giving off milk. Then brown rice is good for diabetics. Most people think that brown rice is good for diabetics. So but it's not really good for diabetics. Why? Because brown rice is a bit difficult to digest. So diabetics, you can't take more of this. So occasionally if you want to take brown rice, you take, or else normal rice is also okay. So brown rice, better than brown rice, I always advise to go for semi brown rice. Don't go for white rice, don't go for brown rice, go for semi brown rice, which is single polished. This is very good. Yeah, and ensure that you soak the semi brown rice for at least 6 to 4 to 6 hours before you cook it. That will be easy for you to digest. So that's the best way to take rice. And actually Humdanji has actually wanted to say that sugarcane juice is about packed and fresh. So yeah, sugarcane juice, what I'm talking is fresh juice only. I never want to tell that go for packed juices. See, whatever is being packed, that has to be preserved for 3 months or 4 months. So if they have to preserve it, they can't preserve it naturally. So obviously what they will do, they will add some chemicals and preservatives, which is again not good for health. So whatever I suggest, generally it's not in the packed form. And diabetics should eat millets, because there is a conception that millets are very good for diabetics. So we should eat millets. So to eat millets, there is a proper way. You should try to make a normal dish by substituting millet with it. Millet preparation is different. It's not like if you want to make a khichdi and you want to just substitute rice with some millet. It may not be the right way, because millet take more time. So to digest for millets are good, because it's hard to digest. So you need to, when you're eating millets, you need to be cautious and you need to eat in a proper way. So these are the diabetes food myths, and these are the diabetes food myths. Okay, whatever I covered. If you have any other questions, you can put it in the chat box. And we also, I think we have already come to. Yeah, before coming to the question answer session, I have one thing to tell you. That's very important. See, this one habit actually helped me control my diabetes. One habit which helped me control my diabetes. It's only one thing. If I tell you, let me start how I should be explaining it in a proper way. So Yeah, let me tell you that. Yeah, the one habit is simply the habit is sleeping late. I used to sleep late, so 11:30, 12 o'clock, sometime like that. So most of you might be having this habit of sleeping late, 11:30, 12 o'clock. So what happens is when I sleep so late, I used to wake up at 7:30 or something, and I need to rush up. Means I need to leave the home by 8 o'clock or 8:15. So I have to rush up in the morning. I don't have enough time to drink water, to empty my stools. I'm not able to peacefully do that, and to brush my teeth also I don't have enough time, and I eat breakfast in a hurry, very hurry manner, like very fast, like swallowing the food, not chewing it properly. So breakfast you should be eating very peacefully, so that all the nutrition, you will be able to absorb all the nutrition, and also will not lead to any digestive issues. And when you start your day this way, what will happen? This will be carrying forward towards the end of the day, because when you are actually sleeping late, you wake up late. But as per Ayurveda, what they say is morning 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Vata dosha is predominant in the nature. So vata means lightness. So if a person is waking up before 6 p.m. in the morning, that throughout the day he will be feeling very light, and he will be feeling very energetic. And if you try to empty your stools at 5:30, you can empty your stools very easily, and you can empty it more, rather than you're emptying your stools going for motion at 7:30 or 8. So it's very important that you sleep on time. What will happen is everything else will fall in place. So this one habit actually helped me a lot to discipline myself. And what happens is right now what I do, I work, I wake up at 5 o'clock, and what I do some basics like brushing my teeth and going to motion. Then I have some productive time. I focus on my important problems I have, and I try to work on them. So if you are also in your life, you have some things to tackle, you use that time. Morning time is very productive. Like it's like morning, if you work 1 hour, that is equal to 3 to 4 hours of the evening, or any other time in the day. So this one habit I will strongly recommend all of you to do. That's sleep on time, like before 10. So if you want to sleep on time before 10, then you need to eat by 8. So as soon as you come from office, you need to eat. You need to eat and just give a gap of 1.5 to 2 hours, and then you sleep. Eat light in the evening. Don't eat heavily. And if you sleep early, one more advantage what you have is you not eat some more junk, because if you sleep late, you'll again feel hungry, and before going to bed, you'll again eat something, some sweet or something and all. Then that also is actually harming you. So now we are almost done with the PPT, and now it's the Q&A session. So now, mm, there are many questions. Okay, first thing is, now who wants to speak can just type a message, speak, and I'll give you the voice one by one. We can talk, you can ask the questions. If you don't want to speak, I'll just answer your questions at the end. Samir G, okay. Samir Ji, you can speak now. Samir Ji, are you speaking? Samirji, are you speaking?